I finally remembered to go back and spec off of my clan battle captain for Shima. I finally am running my normal randoms build and not some dented competitive build with RPF, which is a skill that I always recommend against having in. What the fuck, man? I'm just not going to say anything about that. A skill that I always recommend against taking into randoms and ranked and games like that are literally anything other than clan battles and COTS or whatever other tournament you might be playing in, be it the Pro, Masters Invitational, or whatever the case may be. I highly, highly, highly recommend against running RPF simply because it's just not really worth having in randoms and ranked. Like, it's 4 points that could go into specking for better combat potential. So you could take expert marksman to speed your turrets up and then spec into basic firing training, which is what I have done here. Or you could go and instead of taking RPF, you could take Fearless Brawler if you're running like a Holland, Dalarna, or something like that, Marceau, or Kleber. You could even fucking take Dazzle, which is something I also would not recommend doing. You could also spec into a Superintendent if you're like a Ragnar or a Kid. That's something that has radar and or heals. There's a lot of just straight up better options than taking RPF, and I'm gonna hope that I can demonstrate that, and maybe we might even be able to give like an example of how it can even be actively used against you, uh, depending on if any of these guys are running it. So, that all aside, we're finally going to take a quick look at the matchmaking. Threats to my ship. There's no radar to speak of, no carrier, only one submarine to piss me off. Shima, Gearing, and Holland for destroyers, although there is the Holland is in division with a blacklisted defense, so these probably going to be trash. Shima and Holland, or Shima and Gearing rather, I'm not too worried about because I do outspot the Gearing at the very least, and the Shima is probably never going to shoot his guns like ever, because let's be honest, like 99% of Shima players don't use their guns, even though they should. And they absolutely can, they just don't. So, there's the Holland. Just going to quickly skirt around this guy. He's almost, yeah, he's going to accelerate out. There's no real targets around here, so I'm just going to go ahead and launch some Make-A-Wish torpedoes. You never know your luck. San Diego is like fucking sending it, Jesus Christ. He might not be happy about the matchmaking, but his defense is just going to kind of sit there. We're just going to reverse back towards where that Holland was last spotted. He might be doubling back around this way, which would be pretty plausible. And those are entirely Make-A-Wish torpedoes based on the way he was seen when he was last spotted. Does not look like they're going to hit anything, which is fine. They're not really there to hit anything. They're Make-A-Wish torps at the end of the day because there's really just not many targets around here. So for right now, we're just going to try and keep this defense spotted for our Yamato. Fucking Yodo. Just walked into the middle of A in front of an Anhalt, a Bismarck, whatever the hell that thing is pronounced, and a Gearing. By the way. We're just going to try and keep this defense spotted. And I could try and go and spot that Holland again. But I just want to try and remove this guy's supporting ships by keeping this defense spotted and pushing him away. That's going to give me an easier time in trying to retain control of C. Because unlike me, he, once this defense is gone, will not have any supporting fire, although we might just have to smoke up right here, because that Halan took a much further route than I was expecting him to take. We did see those Halan torpedoes pass, so I'm not too worried about random torps. And I'm going to try and keep this defense spotted so we can try and secure this kill. I'm just going to slow down right here. They have a Shima in B, it looks like. We're just going to slow down right here. We're going to let our turrets turn around. And then we're just going to play to maybe... I'm looking at trying to get this Montana kill. The reason I'm not heading towards B right now is, first of all, there's a Halan who very well could be heading towards B because he knows he's not going to be really getting C anytime soon. And I don't really want to deal with that Halan. And this Montana is super isolated, but this Halan did not go for B like I thought he was. But we do manage to outspot that Halan just fine nonetheless. And this Montana is basically stuck bow in right here. Because he's having to angle towards this Yamato right here. So he's basically stuck more or less the way he is there. We're going to try and close in a little bit more. We're going to greed for as clean of a shot as possible. There's the Haland. We're going to get our guns turned back around. And I'm really not worried about the Haland at this point, because I've been able to outspot him pretty substantially this entire time. So I'm not too worried. We are kind of falling behind a little bit on caps, but that's fine because we do have some extra kills. So Montana gamer turned in front of a Yamato and didn't get punished. Typical WoW's things. I do have my smoke available right now, so I'm going to try and get some chip damage on this Haland. We're just going to try and farm out this Yamato a little bit while we're at it. Montana turned all the way away. That's fine. We're going to try and get a fire on this Yamato. And that's a little annoying, but it is a Halan Torp, so whatever. Montana's still just going to kite away over there. And with that, I'm just going to keep trying to guard C right here, because we are playing for A. We have a Haland and a Gearing over there playing for A with a Schlieffen and Satan right behind him, so this cruiser's probably not going to last very long. The Submarine and the Gearing, if they know what's good for them, are probably going to haul ass. So right now, my primary target is still going to be this Montana. He's the most isolated target. Yamato's bow in, so he is not a good torpedo launch. But I launched him anyway just because he was really the only clean target that I had. We're going to try again and get another torpedo shot on this Montana. We're going to hope that our team is going to stop killing themselves on purpose. Montana's kind of full speeding. So we're going to launch torpedoes like that. We do have Edinburgh torpedoes closing in on this Montana. So he's going to be locked on that course at least for a little while. This Montana's going to turn in towards me, it looks like. That Holland finally done fucked off. I'm going to save this rack right here for this Yamato. Because it looks like that Montana's probably going to eat only 2 of them. That is unfortunate. We're going to launch a greed set for this Montana to just try and secure this kill. This Edinburgh is probably about to get straight up dev struck by this Montana because his smoke just faded. He's stationary, flat broadside to the Montana. Incoming dev strike. Nope, looks like he got saved by overpens, but, well, never mind. Alright, that is fine. We're going to be able to kill off this Montana. We're going to turn our attention towards this Yamato and this Pommern. The Shima and Holland were both spotted in B. I'm honestly not sure what it is that actually spotted them. I think they might have shot at the battleship that was in there. That's my best guess, but I'm not really sure what it could. I really don't think it could have been anything else. I think they just shot at the battleship. And our Des Moines is kind of donating hard to this Yamato. And it doesn't look like that Pommern is going to be very interested in trying to push C. We're about to be down at Des Moines. We're down at Zeton now. We're about to be down to Des Moines. Schlieffen still has a little bit of health left at least, and he has a gearing escort, but I really don't know what our fucking Holland is doing. Probably explains why he is blacklisted. But on the bright side, we still do have control of 2 caps. This Yamato is going to be really annoying because he's just going to kite away all game from this point. So that's a little annoying. I don't know what our fucking Holland is doing. Like, what the fuck is that shit, man? Holland's probably going to be still playing for B. We do have a gearing heading in there. It doesn't look like this Pommern's going to be exposing himself anytime soon. Actually, he might be. I was really tempted to launch a spread down like that lane right there a few seconds ago when I had the cleaner angle. But I didn't think that the Pommern was just going to turn in towards where he knows that there's a gearing at. But he is, in fact, doing exactly that. Although, it looks like what he's probably doing is he's going to turn out and he's going to head for C. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm just going to try and get into a position to cut that off, but actually he might not be doing that. He might just straight up die to these gearing torpedoes. No, he does not. But I'm going to predict that he's going to turn in to try and get... Or, no, I thought he was going to turn in to try and stay inside the cap and keep denying it, but he did not do that. He's instead about to do exactly what I thought he was going to do earlier, except he's going to do it so late that he's literally going to fucking beach. Our Holland is losing a gunfight to Oshima. I'm just going to have to launch torps out like that. And the Shima does go down. Hopefully these torpedoes are going to be good for this Pommern. And now it's just going to be on us to try and get some torpedoes into this Yamato. We do have a decent angle to fire torpedoes at him. The gearing is actually getting spotted by something. I don't know how he was detected there. I don't know if he shot or what, but that was sloppy from the gearing. And that those torpedoes did not hit because that Pommern was bow in. That is unfortunate. And there's that Holland again. I really think that... Okay. I think that Pommern is probably going to be heading down towards C right there. Either the Pommern or the Holland is going to be heading down there, but between the two of them, I think it's most likely to be the Pommern. So I'm actually going to take a pretty sizable risk right here. And I'm just going to push back down south towards C. And I'm going to get some torpedoes away for whatever it is that might be pushing down. Because we don't really need B at this point. What we need is we need to stay alive, and we need to just hold on to our points lead. And to do that, all we have to do is retain control of the two caps. Although our gearing is spotted somehow, our Holland really needs to not die here. No, do not fire, Holland. You need to live. Jesus Christ. Well, honestly, as long as both of... Okay, yeah, the Holland shot, so now he's detected. Ah, beautiful. Although, if they can manage to trade, it's honestly fine. And this Pommern is finally going to be turning down towards C. So we're going to put torpedoes out. And we're going to hold on to our third rack, just in case that these ones don't do the job. I'll have the third rack for immediately to fire away after that, but it does look like these two are going to be good. So our gearing and our Holland just need to stay alive. This Pommern should go down to those. Yes, he does. And now we just play the run the hell away from everything game. And that is going to be a win. Actually, never mind, because our Holland does manage to torpedo the enemy. Holland, so a good deal there. So, all I really want to highlight here is, first of all, this Pommern is salty. But the thing that I want to highlight here is what benefit would RPF have given me here. I mean, sure, I might have been able to get an extra cheeky shot on the Holland, but my goal wasn't really to fight the Holland at all anyway. And I did end up outspotting him in pretty much all of the engagements, and I only got detected by him a couple of times when I greeted for a little bit of chip on him to force him to commit to either using heals on the high HE volleys that I did to him. But I honestly was expecting him to stay spotted a little bit because of the friendly ships in range, but I guess it was either in smoke like the Edinburgh or too far like the Yamato, because Holland gun range isn't very long, so whatever. But the main thing that I just want to really highlight here is just, you don't need RPF. You don't need it to tell you where the enemy destroyers are. You can just have game sense and make fairly accurate predictions on where he is. You can look at the minimap and see where he was last spotted, for example. You can make educated guesses based on where the most likely he is to go. He did surprise me by heading back into C. I honestly thought he was going to go towards B after I just kept out spotting him like 2 or 3 times in a row. But he did keep that pressure on C, even though he never got it. So well played to that Holland. He played a decent game for being in division with a blacklisted person. So you'll let him have it. So all of that aside, though, uh, this also is just the importance of making sure you can hold on to caps whenever you're able to. Uh, it really doesn't matter who caps first, just who caps for longest. Think of it that way. So, I think that is going to be it for today. That was a very nice Shima game there, and I hope you found it helpful, and I hope you found it entertaining. So, on that note, I am done for today, so I will see you tomorrow.